This right here is the Amazon Echo Spot 2024, and it's got a small screen, but I have big questions. Now, the Echo Spot is very good, but it does things that annoy me. Like, for example, why is it that sometimes I have an Amazon notification saying that I bought something over a year ago, and why is it trying to get me to buy that thing again? It's an annoying thing, but honestly, it's just more of a small thing. Now, the Amazon Echo Spot 2024 has a small display on it, which is just a clock, and that's all it needs to be. You can't display any pictures on it or play any videos on it. And that's actually a good thing for two reasons. Reason one is because there's no ads that will appear on your screen, and Amazon is notorious for displaying their ads on Echo devices. And number two is simplicity. It's simply a smart clock that will dim on its own at around 10 p.m. in your time zone, allowing for good sleep, and it won't disturb you. The clock will go dark red, and it kind of fits in with the black display that is still readable when you want to read it. That is on by default, of course, and of course you can change that in the settings. Of course, you can switch clocks in the settings. It's as simple as going to the settings, clock and theme, clock face, and selecting the one you want. Of course, you can also change the color theme and clock format as well. Then, of course, you have your Bluetooth, display, sounds, and other settings that are on the device. Of course, all those same settings are also available inside the Amazon Alexa app. Now, while the display is really nice, it's not going to be a display that will let you, let's say, watch your Ring video doorbell camera, for example. It will display the cover art when you are playing something from Spotify or wherever you're playing your media from. It also has a pretty cool animation when it's playing your media. It has these bars that match the color of the media that you are playing, and honestly, it's actually really nice. The display itself is also really small. It comes in at around 2.8 inches. The rest of the Amazon Echo Spot 2024 comes in at around 4.5 inches, with the bottom half of the Echo Spot being the speaker and the top half being the display, of course. The speaker does come with good sound. When the volume is high, the highs are very loud. The speaker has sound that can be heard throughout an entire big house. The bass is slightly weak, the treble is decent, but the mid-range overall is pretty good. Overall, I think the sound is actually decent. Here's a quick listen to some music on the Amazon Echo Spot speaker. Now, one thing about all of the Amazon Echo devices is how well they pick up your voice when you use the wake word. There are 3 microphones on the top of the device that do an excellent job of listening to you. So let's give it some commands. What's the weather outside?
The current weather is 80 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today's forecast has mostly sunny weather, with a high of 85 degrees and a low of 68 degrees.
Set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Stop the timer.
5-minute timer canceled.
Set my lights to red.
Okay.
Of course, the volume, mute mic buttons, and the 3 microphones are on the top of the sphere that is the Amazon Echo Spot 2024, and I really like that it's round simply because it is minimalistic. Now, I gotta say, the Amazon Echo Spot 2024 is pretty heavy. When I weighed this, it came in at around 14.3 ounces, which is almost a pound. Now, I was surprised to find out that the Amazon Echo Spot was actually lighter than my Google Nest Hub 2nd Gen. That thing clocked in at around 1 pound and 3.6 ounces. That was quite shocking to me because the Amazon Echo Spot 2024 felt a lot heavier than the Google Nest Hub 2nd Gen. By the way, if you want to see a comparison, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and share this video, and let's get this video up to 20 likes and I will do a comparison against the Google Nest Hub 2nd Gen. Now, of course, if you're wondering about the smart home, yes, this can power on your smart home devices. It does this over a Wi-Fi connection. It can turn on your lights, television, control your thermostat, and do things like that. The Amazon Echo Spot does this very well too. One example of how well the Amazon Echo Spot can control your smart home is by turning on and off your television. If you have a smart TV, you don't need a dongle to do this. All you have to do is say, "Alex, turn on my television," and it will turn on. While Google Assistant can do this, it often relies more on a Chromecast integration for seamless TV control, giving the Echo Spot a slight edge in this particular scenario for smart TVs. Now, of course, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I do have some big questions. And one of those questions I do have is, why do I have to tell my Amazon Echo Spot to do a command in a very specific way? One example I could share is when I'm controlling my TV, instead of saying switch source to PlayStation 5, I have to say switch source to HDMI 2 and then it will switch. Also, because I have strip lights, I have one of them named television strip lights because they are on the back of my television. I have to say turn up my TV and not say turn up my television. Turn up the volume on my television.
Television strip light doesn't support that.
It's annoying to have to deal with these using the Echo Spot, but it is what it is. Another one of the big questions I have is, why do I sometimes have to say the wake word or even the commands twice? Because for a device that has 3 microphones on top of it, it does not hear the command at all sometimes. And that to me is insane, and that shouldn't be. But this is not a bad device. In fact, I still like it a lot. Of course, one of my favorite features on the Amazon Echo Spot, despite its flaws, is the routines and alarms. This is a smart clock after all, and it does have alarms. Of course, I could set my alarms to whatever time I want to wake up, but I like the routines better simply because I can have it turn on my lights at a certain time, along with having it play my news briefing. This to me is a really good quality of life feature because I could try to simulate the sunrise in my bedroom without having to open the curtain, and I could catch up on the news from yesterday. It's a way that gets me up in the morning and gets me going for the day. Now, if you ask me if the Amazon Echo Spot 2024 is good for your family, I would say yes, simply because you can play games like Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader or Jeopardy! Now, of course, you can also make announcements using the Amazon Alexa app, and it will send that announcement to all of the Amazon Echoes that you have in your house. And for me, I really like these quality of life features from the Amazon Echo Spot 2024. Now, my final thought is that while this is a very good speaker, there are a ton of improvements that Amazon has to make for it to be perfect. Because one other problem that I had was when I'm watching something on my TV, Amazon has the ability to tell me what it is I'm watching, but for some reason it won't do that. So overall, I give the Echo Spot 2024 a 7.6 score. It's a good device, but it still needs a lot of work. Now, of course, I did an unboxing of the Amazon Echo Spot 2024. That video is right here in the playlist if you want to watch that. Now, of course, you can subscribe to my main channel, and of course, you can subscribe to my vlog channel as well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.